Yeet! What's going on, fam? It's your boy, Dayquil here. Got you another review. Hope you guys don't mind, but I've got my mic closer to me. It's in the shot. Usually won't be, but right now I'm sick. And if it bothers you, this review was originally gonna be on the new Justin Timberlake record, but I chose Life. Also, I haven't seen anyone mention this album or talk about it, so I thought I might give it a shot. Let's get it started. AWOLNATION is an electro-pop hybrid created and designed by singer-songwriter-composer Aaron Bruno. Here Comes the Runts is his third studio project, following his previous projects, Run and Megalithic Symphony. Each of those records have had a track on them that exploded and became memes. Both Run and Sail are classic memes that have cemented his place in the internet's archives of legendary memery. While Here Comes the Runts has yet to reveal a meme classic, this album is something I would say is worth paying attention to. One thing you can always credit AWOLNATION for is his apparent on-track passion for his work and his sonic versatility, which appears on most of his projects. And the second track, aptly named Passion, is a great example of that. It's a really great kind of blueprint for how the rest of Here Comes the Runts runs. There's much more guitar and traditional instrumentation than on his previous records, which are much more electronically focused. And while a lot of those synths and electronics are still present, it's not the whole picture anymore. I think it's a nice change of pace for Bruno, for AWOLNATION, and his kind of young and ever-evolving sound. This change of pace is also evident in literally the album's pace. We're given a lot more slow, kind of sauntering track, like the back-to-back tracks, Table for One and My Molasses. The latter being a bit forgettable, and the former having a really, really great emotional payoff. And the chorus with Bruno really screaming, "'Cause I don't want you to leave." It's a really passionate track that it got me in my feelings. And that's not to say that wild cuts aren't on here, because, oh yeah, there are. The first three tracks are rock solid, have some really tight grooves, and the title and alpha track almost has a Nonagon Infinity by King Gizzard and the Wizard Lizard vibes. One more time. The title and alpha track has almost a Nonagon Infinity by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard vibe, and I dug that a lot. Passion gets pretty wild, especially in its hook, Passion! And Sound Witness System has this really kind of like sauntering spoken word vocals that are a really nice change of pace from Bruno's normally like screaming lyrics, which appear later on the track anyways. And the lyrics on the track are some of Bruno's best, engaging in an interesting rhyming and rhythmic scheme that's generally unlike him. And Cannonball has this really nice driving beat throughout the track and has some good rhythmic vocal passages on the hook too. But other than the nice groove it has, Cannonball just kind of washes over as AWOLNATION as usual, but like not in the good way. And the track following it, Tall Tall Tales, is also AWOLNATION as usual, but in the best way. It plays to his strengths, fusing noise rock and experimental electronic sounds to create this really great track, and it's one of my favorites off the album. 7 Sticks of Dynamite has an obvious Jack White influence that I thought was pretty cool. And Stop That Train has this really wild noise rock breakdown in the latter half. It reminded me a little bit of Baby Teeth off of Horror's latest record, Gold. But Here Come the Runts isn't loaded with hits. Actually, it misses almost as much as it hits. A Little Luck and a Couple of Dogs and The Buffoon are completely forgettable interludes that just kind of seem like padding for the rest of the album and don't offer anything conceptually or sonically that's interesting at all. Stop That Train's beat switch in the middle is really jarring and kind of strange. Handyman and Miracle Man are just okay. Jealous Buffoon is full of boring lyrics, and the instrumental is also just kind of boring. And the lyrical content on the whole is not very interesting either. But lyrics have never been AWOLNATION's strong suit to begin with. He just creates unique and jarring soundscape that they just shake you. You can't ignore the writing though. It's just boring. It's stuff that we've heard before, over and over and over generations of music, and even with the more interesting conceptual sound, he can't change up his vocal passages enough to make it interesting. Once he ups his pen game, I think AWOLNATION will have something really, really interesting to offer to the mainstream audience. But until then, he's holding himself back a lot. Here Comes the Runts has some solid highlights. The first 3 tracks are remarkably solid. It's nice to see AWOLNATION constantly evolve his sound, but there are a couple of holes here that made this kind of a forgettable listen. I'll probably come back and listen through a handful of the tracks here, and but I don't think it's worth a third listen. But it's not a bad way to spend 45 minutes. I'm gonna give Here Comes the Runts a 6.5 out of 10.